Talking is hard. I haven't talked this much all year. Do not forget to drink water. In this video, I'm going to go over how my 365 drawing challenge allowed me to grow as an artist and why I didn't finish the challenge. Hi, my name is Jess. I am an artist and overall creative person. I really enjoy painting, illustration, drawing. I like photography. I like to get better at photography. And design. I want to kind of talk to you about what were my biggest lessons that I learned from incorporating a 365 drawing practice, what I kind of learned about it and what I think allowed me to grow the most. And I want to go into why I didn't finish because I think it's kind of interesting and I'm sure other people could relate, and it's also something to think about if you're thinking about doing a 365 yourself. I would say the biggest lessons that I learned that allowed me to really dramatically grow as an artist are 4 different things. One, definitely learn how to break images down into shapes. So a person's head is, you could break that down into a sphere. A person's body is more rectangular. And I could actually link the Skillshare video that I had watched that really, really helped with this. But just really learning how to train your eye and how to simplify things is super important. That really, really improved the way that I could, take something that I'm seeing and really translate it onto paper. The second one is learn how to create for yourself. And I will say, this one's really hard, so hard. I still struggle with it all the time. And I probably will for a really long time. Don't let yourself worry about will this illustration be good? Will people like it? Will this make a good product? Especially if you're an artist who has a shop. I have a shop. That was one of my other goals for last year that I was able to accomplish, which I'm really proud about. Don't think about any of that. You have your idea, just execute it. Doesn't matter if it's garbage, does not matter if whatever, you had the idea of let's say, I'll do one of mine as an example. I had an idea of painting this Satan person. It was around Halloween. But I'm not thinking about will people like this? Will people think I'm weird or something? Or will this make a good print someday or a good sticker? None of that matters. I just wanted to do it, I'm gonna do it, and I'm gonna think about nothing else. This is really simplified in a great way by an artist that I actually recently discovered. Her name is Karita Kenneth, and she had said, don't try to create and analyze at the same time. They're different processes, which is completely true. You cannot create and analyze the creation as you're creating it. It's just impossible. And you're gonna drive yourself mad. If you do that, you're just gonna be frustrated with it, you're not gonna like it, you're gonna have an awful time. So try to leave the analyses for the last part. When you're done with your illustration, think about ways that you could have made it better. And then do that the next time when you're going to start. But just enjoy it. Literally just enjoy the process. So that is my big lesson, number 2. Number 3, experiment. Definitely just experiment. Don't pigeonhole yourself. My dog Olive is chewing her bone. Experiment. Don't pigeonhole yourself in any one medium. Let's say, for me, I started out with design and I was doing mostly digital illustration. Don't pigeonhole yourself to only doing digital illustration. For me, I experimented with doing painting because I had kind of actually got to a point where I was tired of doing digital illustration, and it was just kind of, we were looking at our screens all day long, and I was just I need a break. And so I wanted to get into painting, and I got into watercolor and gouache, and I am really, really happy. And it actually really improved my knowledge of color, and it improved my hand-eye coordination in terms of being able to break reference images down into shapes and build textures and depth within a painting. It really, really helped. I also like to experiment with doing photography, and I like to experiment with mixing mediums too, like collage, or you want to mix like paintings and then turn it into like a digital illustration. Let yourself play. Don't take it too seriously, because like letting yourself kind of work outside those zones of what you're normally comfortable with, like that's when you have like true inspiration and you're able to think of new things because you're doing a totally new thing. It really, really helps with the creative process. My last lesson, this is a big one. When it comes to showing your work on social media or just to other people in general, do not worry if people are judging you. And this one is so hard. You can't be afraid to let people judge you. Not everything that you make is going to be amazing, and not everything that you like post either is going to be your best work of art or like your best piece. And I think that is like what is really can be really toxic about social media, is because like you're rewarded for perfection. You're rewarded for very like high quality, very like retouched photos and just perfect. With a creative process is messy. It's not, there's no way for you to know when you're going down to painting something to know if it's going to be like so amazing. And that's kind of what is like scary about it, is like you're going to invest all this time and effort into something and you don't even know if it's going to be good in the end. But I think that's also part of the magic, because when you do add those like finishing touches and it's something that you worked really hard on and you tried to invest your time into building those skills and you're seeing the reward from it, that is what is really magical about that creative process. So you know what, like don't even think about if other people don't like it. Do you like it? Did you have fun making it? Did you enjoy that process? Then share it. It does not matter if it's like 100% amazing. Just share it. And if you want, like, you can talk about what you didn't like about it or what you learned. That's kind of what I do, and I really enjoy that aspect of it because I want to show all aspects of the creative process, the messy parts and the good parts, because I think all of that is important. It's about experimenting and learning from the creative choices that you made so that you can improve. Those are the biggest lessons that I have learned through starting a 365 drawing practice. Did I do it every single day? No, I didn't. Why? Life will humble you. You will get rocked. And even a good routine, you can't expect it to last forever. I just don't think that that is like normal or natural. But if it is something that you want to try, I think I have some tips on like what would maybe make it a better practice, and like for me, like what I think would have made it better. I definitely think like doing it first thing in the morning. If like what you want to do is you want to draw that day, do it right when you wake up. Grab your coffee or whatever, your water, and get all your supplies out. For me, setting timers makes it a lot less scary because I know, oh, if I'm really not enjoying this after 15 minutes or 20 minutes, like I can be done. But most often I like want to do more of it because I enjoy it. Pretty much everybody can set aside 20 minutes to do anything. Like if you can spend 20 minutes on your phone, you can spend 20 minutes drawing or doing whatever you want to do. And you're not going to regret it. I don't. Oh, this was another one. So how I like to approach drawing is I do have like a Pinterest board of inspiration. It like a lot of it's like photo references that I like the composition of the photo and maybe I want to paint that photo or draw that photo. Sometimes it's other artists' styles, like specifically if I liked the way that they incorporated texture or I liked the colors that they used, I might try to incorporate that into my own style. Do not copy people's work. That's just not fun, and you're honestly not going to learn much from doing that. But I do think that you can pull inspiration from other artists for sure. What really helped me to kind of develop my own style was just kind of having an idea that came from me, whether it be like a photo that I had seen on the internet that I wanted to paint and like kind of figuring out ways that I already wanted it to look. Starting that drawing process, like starting my sketch before I look at any other reference photos. Because if I start to look up like let's say I want to draw a snake. If I search like snake illustration, then I'm going to be bombarded by a bunch of images that show how other artists specifically like communicated a snake in their own style, and then that influences how I will then illustrate a snake, and then it ends up looking like somebody else's work at the end of it. Like, I don't enjoy it because it didn't come from me. It wasn't like any of my original ideas and stuff. The times that I will then go back and look at like reference photos is, you know, if I'm really stuck on like, let's say I can't think of how to translate the scales on a snake, I'll then maybe like search on Pinterest snake illustration to specifically look at how other artists and creators have communicated the scales on a snake and pull inspiration from that and try out different things and see what I like, see what works with the work that I'm trying to make. That's really helpful. And then also just like, you know, be observant. When you're walking around town, or like, you know, I have to go on daily walks with my dog, I'll kind of look around the neighborhood for things that I maybe want to paint, and I'll take photos. There's this house that I've been wanting to paint for a long time, which I should get to. Think about what brings you joy, not what brings other people joy. What brings you joy, because that's going to be how you have the best approach to your creative practice. Next, I'm going to kind of go more into depth as to why I stopped doing the 365. Yeah. Basically, for me, it got to a point where it was really taking a toll on my mental health. I think I was starting to hit a bit of burnout. This could just be because like I'm not the fastest painter or drawer. Like, I really take my time, but it takes me like sometimes it takes me like 4 hours to like paint. Sometimes it can take me like 20 minutes. For me, it's like I never really know how long something is going to take me, because like every time I do a painting, like this is the first time I'm doing this particular subject. So like I have no idea how long it's going to take me to reach the point of done. The mental health aspect of it though, like I enjoy sharing my work, and I'm glad that I was like able to build up that confidence. Where it got to be like negative for me was because it was really hard for me to like kind of keep my ego in check, where like I started to kind of feel like I was creating for the consumption of other people and not creating for myself. So that goes back to like the biggest lessons that I learned was like learning how to recognize that and create for myself. At a certain point, I had to like just kind of take a step back, and you know, it got very like addictive almost, because like when I would post like a drawing, you get that high of like, you know, especially if people like it and it's something you're really proud of, like you see the responses. I want it to be more than that. Like I want that same level of joy and happiness to come purely from me, because I decided to spend my time in that way. I decided to make this thing that didn't exist before. I'm really happy with it. I'm happy with the time that I spent, and now I just want to share it with the world. But I'm not making the piece because I want people to like it and I want to receive feedback in the form of likes and shares or whatever. Do you kind of get the difference? It's a blurry line, but so yeah, that was kind of like why I'd stopped doing the everyday thing. You know, I didn't want to burn out either. I didn't want to like start to hate drawing, so I just kind of decided to take a little step back. And it was ultimately like the best decision for me, and I still like am pretty active with creation, but I'm also able to like do other things instead of just drawing or just painting. Like start to do what I'm doing now, which is learning how to shoot video, how to edit video. You know, I get to pick up old hobbies like film photography, and that was really fun, and I got to learn how to like, you know, relearn my old film camera. Do I think that the 365 drawing challenge, did it help me improve? Yes, I absolutely think it helped me improve. Even doing like 90 illustrations, that was more drawings and paintings I've done than I have even done in the last 5 years combined. I think like I accomplished what I originally set out to do. I wanted to improve drawing, and I wanted to create it more of a practice, which I definitely have. Now I'm creative every day. I'm just creative in different ways. I don't like sit down and draw every day. I probably sit down and draw like maybe once a week, but that works for me. I'm like really happy with what I did. I think I kind of like also discovered my own little style. I really enjoy neons, and like I've been obsessed with like a lime green. And I actually really discovered that I love painting. It's kind of therapeutic. I love gouache, I love watercolor. So yeah, I'm really like excited to know what this year will bring. If you guys try your own like drawing practice, let me know. I want to know how it goes for you and like what kind of lessons you've learned. It's different for everybody is. And if you like this video, let me know. Please subscribe. I don't know how often I'll be making videos because I am also just getting started. So yeah, but if you kind of like the way that I chat and talk about the creative process and my process, follow along. Thanks. Bye. Just gonna dance a little bit. I'm so thirsty. Oh my god. I love Waterloo so much. Lemon lime soda water tastes like Sprite. It really does. It's better than Sprite actually in my mind. All right, peace.